Well, just before we went live, I was having a conversation with Charles that I had a way of introducing the guys. Well, he's not abreast with it, so I'm just going to bring him up to speed real quick. Yes, so I call them the usual suspects. And that's because they've been eligibles for so long that you begin to be suspicious of why they, single for that long. Anyway, that's the way to welcome you to the show. Sadly, Nigerians are not performing to expectations of Nigerians, Nigerian athletes, I mean, not living up to the expectations of Nigerians at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And it just feels as though we would be looking the direction of those with special needs to meet our needs. That's just me rhyming. My name is TC Barr. Welcome to Souk Sports Friday edition. It's the Friday feeling. And yes, you can say TGIF. Looking forward to the weekend. And of course, counting down to the commencement of the major leagues of the world with few days left to wrap up of the Paris 2024 Olympics. And so I'll let Charles introduce himself the way he loves to.
Well, it's Charlie Montero. My name is Charles Jonah, but I like to be called Charlie Montero. A lot of people call me Charlie Montero, and it's good to be back on Souk News. It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks.
That's why I suspect you. What have you been up to?
School, just running school and trying to get myself up to where I want myself.
And the ladies?
Well, the ladies are on the sideline right now. They are on the
okay.
bench,
have injury and all that.
And all that.
Who had the injury?
So priority is school, and I'm just trying to
get
it. It's good to be here, and it's good to see your lovely faces.
It's good to have you, my brother. And of course, we'll start off with the local scene, as we have done in the last couple of episodes. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, has officially lifted its ban on the Nigerian Premier Football League side, Katsina United. Now, this is coming after MPFL, if you remember, banned them from registering new players as a result of a pay dispute with a former player. So the guy went all the way to FIFA and reported, but somehow FIFA has officially lifted its ban on Katsina United after it was learned that they had sorted out with the player. And so that's what we have. Muhammadu Sule Salamoon has confirmed that he has received his outstanding salaries from the club, and Katsina United has spent the time trying to bolster their squad, adding 4 new players to the side. So MPFL is also expected to make further signings, the MPFL side, Katsina United, before the start of the upcoming campaign. We hear the 31st of August. We hope that the league management company do not ship the goalpost just when we're about to score. So Katsina United has got Plateau United, to face at the commencement of the season. From there on, we'll move on. Daniel Dega has emphasized the club's commitment to achieving success in the MPFL CAF Confederations Cup and the President's Federation Cup next season. Enyimba will be competing in the Continentals and will also commence the 2024-2025 MPFL campaign against newcomers Beyond Limits. But then, word on the street is that Beyond Limits cannot be in the MPFL campaign with Remo Stars because they are like sister companies, right? Sister clubs. Yeah, so owned by the same person. And we hear that some money has been put aside by Heartland Football Club, to take the place of Beyond Limits. Of course, Heartland just signed Emmanuel Amunike, former Nigerian international, recently. But I don't know if that deal had fallen through. When I had the governor on the show last episode, which was Wednesday, he has said something about the fact that 500 million naira, which is what was touted in social media space, offered to Beyond Limits. What is the worth of the league?
Wait, you mean the MPF?
Yes, I think it was 150 and now 200 million for first prize. So for someone to be paying 500 million to be a part of the league, it just seems kind of absurd. I don't want to think.
They should have calculated the gains they would make by playing in the MPF rather than being in the relegation or staying in the division. But if there is an opportunity, for them to relinquish their position to be in the MPFL for Heartland to take their place, they should cost something.
Yeah, but not more than the worth of the league.
Well, it's arguable. It's arguable because what did they stand to benefit by playing the MPFL? They would have gone through all the books and through all the records. I also know that they will also get some players, some players that will want to also lobby their way into staying in the MPFL.
Well, Governor had suggested that they could even have some sort of arrangement with Beyond Limits, because some of the players who applied their trade with Beyond Limits, it's more like an academy. They are very young, they're mobile, they're good, and it might just be what Heartland needs. So you could have like an exchange which reduces, right? The amount of whatever will be paid in a bid to get back into the MPFL.
Well, I think that's a viable option. That is, if they can look into it. At the end of the day, football is business. Yeah. Everybody's looking to make maximum profits and looking to use their opportunities right. So I don't really blame them. But then the price tag is outrageous, one, because you cannot have a situation where the first person in the league is earning 200 or 150 million, and then just for you to get a spot in the MPFL, you are paying over 500.
So what do you think is viable? 50?
Well, let's cap it at 100, because you worked for it. I'm paying you for it. So it's an academy. They've not really spent a lot of money in recruiting these players or scouting them. They just just got them from their feeders team. So you say as compensation, for all the hard work done. But then the rules are the rules. You cannot have two sister clubs playing in the same league. So they should cut their losses and just take whatever deal they can. But 500 million is a lot. It's a lot.
Naira, I have to emphasize. So Enyimba, we here are set to unveil, some new players ahead of the 2024-2025 MPFL season. And it's going to happen in a ceremony set to take place at the Enyimba International Stadium. The most decorated club in Nigeria will be conducted. That particular unveil will be conducted by Kano Wanko, who's also a very decorated player. And the MPFL champions are scheduled to play a friendly match against Sierra Leonean side FC Cologne as part of their preparations for the new season. So we're looking forward to the unveiling, and we'll bring you up to speed with that. Right about now, we were trying to see if we could get feelers, because Toby Amerson, the current 100 meters hurdles world record holder, is supposed to be racing. It's setting her sights on securing a medal at the 2024 Olympics in Paris, and Toby's determination is coming after missing out on podium finishes in the previous two editions in the Games in Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020. Now, she has expressed confidence about qualifications for the semi-finals and clocking an impressive time of 12.49 seconds at the ongoing Olympics, leaving her American competitor Alicia Johnson trailing at 12.61 seconds and Janik Brown at 12.84 seconds. And we're hoping to get some of the update on that. I tried to look it up, but some persons had said she was disqualified, or Team Nigeria was disqualified from the 4x400 meters. We're not certain of that information. I'd want to double check or fact check because it's just not everything you see out there that you pick. So I'm trying to fact check if Nigerian team were disqualified from that or not. But one particular team was disqualified to give Nigeria a chance to come in or sneak into the cycling competition, which has caused some sort of row. I'm going to be talking about that in a bit. But let me let you know that Ogazi highlighted that making it to the final and ranking among the top 8 athletes internationally marks a very significant personal and national achievement for him, one, and Nigerians. He is the first Nigerian athlete in as much as over 3 decades to qualify for the 400 meters final at the Olympics. But it's crazy. We're hoping that Nigeria would get a medal. Nigerian cyclist Essa Hayatou faced a tough challenge in the women's Kerenin track cycling event as she finished 6th in the Heat 1, clocking the time of 13.108. Now, this meant that she missed out on an automatic spot in the quarterfinals, but she still has an opportunity to progress as she will compete in the Ripchagi round. Now, she is the first Nigerian athlete ever to compete in cycling at the Olympic Games, demonstrating her trailblazing impact in Nigerian sports history. But it came at a cost. Because Nigeria was not initially, according to the Minister for Sports, John Eno, he tried to clarify the situation because people have been dragging the Nigerian sports on Twitter. I don't know if you saw some of the comments, some of the quotes.
They put all the Nigerian sporting federations on
Red alert.
lot of controversies, really.
But I think I would blame Essay. For me, Charlie, I will blame Essay. Now, she put up a tweet saying that she wants to thank the team, the bike for giving her because it was short notice. So, tweets, you can't explain a lot with the number of characters. But the way the tweet came just felt like she was thanking them for coming to her rescue.
That's what it looks like, and that's what it is. Because we saw the the minister also clarify on her statement. It was not like they had qualified for this.
Yeah.
They failed to provide for her. They qualified after a review and the disqualification of a
team
that had already qualified. So yes, she did not go into the whole explanation as to what happened. So now,
which is the statement what the minister had done.
The minister shed more light into the situation and made everybody understand that, okay, look, and it made more sense. It gave it more perspective, really, because she is in that German team, in a club side in Europe. They were just able to help her out. So when she said that, she did not really give a clearer view for us to, but a lot of people were going off and,
So the issue here now, Charlie, is that the bike was given by a German company, and so some people are dragging her left, right, and center, Elunala, saying, no, that why can't Nigeria afford the bicycle? Bicycle. I mean,
but they say it's specialized
basically in French. Yes, it's specialized, but there's a particular tweet that I saw responding to this, saying that the Minister of Sport had said that it would take as much as 3 months to order and have it delivered. But people are saying, hey, you're already in France. It's not coming to Nigeria. So how long are you shipping it? So, why didn't you even buy from the German people?
It depends on the time that they were given, like the notice. What time? How much?
Let's say you can walk into a shop and buy it
over there. Yeah. A lot of people said it on Twitter. A lot of comments I read like that. But how much notice was the federation?
Even if you were given if you were not part of a team, right? Charlie Montero.
We know
Let's say you have to go on the board. You have to do skateboarding. What you have to do is probably go into a shop or go on Amazon and find out how long it could take to. If you're within the delivery area, even in Nigeria, how long does it take for some shipping companies to ship?
Okay, let us now look at it. You know that funds are being allocated to these people. So now they have to make.
You said they didn't have money.
I'm saying that they didn't know that they were going to compete in that category.
So the fund. Now, Charlie, you have struck rock. You have Moses. Water is coming out. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people have also taken to social media to say over 9 billion naira was allocated to the Olympics, preparation and sponsorship.
For our country.
Hold on. Can we put it up? How much was made available? Not you, Chike. I need that budget to be put on the screen so that you see how much was made available. About 12 billion naira, and then a newspaper publication by the minister trying to clarify that sometime in June that over 9 billion naira was set aside for preparations. If that amount of money was, put out, why would we be complaining of how much now?
How many athletes do we have representing us in Paris Olympics?
Good question.
So that's what when you look.
You cannot compare it side by side with what the Americans brought to the party, or what Chinese put out there.
That's what I'm saying. We should also leave some room for these people to clarify their name, because when you say this amount of money was made public or was made available for them, then there's football, there's swimming, there's cycling. Do
we have representatives in swimming?
I wouldn't.
I'm just
mentioning that it cuts across all the competitions. Now, allocations will be made for not just their feeding, they are also for their accommodation as well, and their day-to-day goings and running of the team. So a lot of things come into consideration when you talk about how the federal government made allocations for this, or how the federation is trying to take care of this. I mean, we have footballers, playing football, we have
If
the,
you have
the big
footballers
digress.
that crashed out,
You will
just
still
the
you will
female
still
team.
pay you will
It's
still
just
pay
the
them all
female
their
team.
allocation
It's
regardless.
just female team.
So I'm just trying to cut them some slack, because a lot of times we Nigerians, or we say the citizens, we always want to show that we can,
No, you need to hold the government accountable.
should,
It's
but
a
then
common patrimony, if you've heard of that word.
But I feel like if the notice that they got for that, okay,
Was not
was not enough
for them to. And then she went on to come sixth. Anyway, we do have Chimobi joining us virtually on the program today. And of course, we'd want to take his thoughts on this. I'm sure you've been following this, Chimobi. Glad to have you on the program. Good afternoon to you. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are at the moment, because I know you always move. But then,
yeah,
you've
it's
seen
actually
the pictures,
afternoon
you
over
followed that
here.
story about the bicycle incident. I'd like to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, what it shows is that there is no prior planning or prior preparation, because even if the team is not competing, they should be, those equipment, the bicycles and all that should be on ground. All those things should be ready, because something can come up. Look at what happened. It's a national embarrassment. So whether we qualified for the cycling event or we did not qualify, the bicycles should be ready. Every other apparatus or equipment should be ready. And what that incident showed is that our cycling federation was not ready. So it speaks volumes of the kind of things we see here.
According to the Minister of Sports, he said it required a specialized type of bicycle. And now you're bringing up a very salient point. I don't think Charles saw that side of that coin. You're bringing a salient point, talking about the fact that if we were prepared, we should have that specialized bicycle. I want to draw your attention to some of the athletes with special need, the Paralympians, who require a certain kind of wheelchair, not the normal wheelchair. And then they have to go for these events, borrow wheelchairs from other participants to use. And I think that's what Chimobi is trying to bring out. So if, for example, she did not qualify, but she has been practicing, she should have had a practice type, right? So is there an excuse? Now let's go to the funding, Chimobi. I don't know if you've also seen the issue of how much was made available, in the budget for, this particular event. Over 9 billion. At least we're sure there's a 9 billion, there's 12 billion. Yes, on two different sides. But then Charlie wants us to cut the Minister of Sports some slack, saying that money might not be enough. Now the question so many persons are asking on social media, so they made 9 billion available and one medal has not come through, even if it's ice.
Well, this is well, it shows, like I said in the case of the cycling incident, it shows how unprepared or how disorganized, let me use that term, we are as a country in the aspect of sports. Mapping out 9 billion, right? 9 billion naira for the athletes. Now, I would want to cut him some slack, the minister. I would like to cut him some slack in the area of the athletes. They'll stay in, the ones that won't stay in the games village will be lodged in hotels. They'll be fed, and all that, the daily running costs and all that. Yeah, but then the 9 billion will actually do us more good if it is actually invested in these athletes. Because the amount, no matter how you twist it, even if dollar is exchanging at 2,000 per dollar, it's huge. It's a very huge sum of money. So you end up seeing that it's like an investment without returns, without any returns on investment. because we have gone there and we are spending 9 billion on athletes that have not brought any glory whatsoever to the country so far.
Despite the fact that Nigerian Sports Minister John Eno has hailed the impact that the Nigerian women's basketball team has made. He said that they did put up a very good run, and of course they had a fair outing in the group stage in which they defeated Australia, Canada, and then a slim defeat to the host France. We also saw them lose to United States of America, which is like the biggest team when it comes to basketball. But some arguments, especially from Juvie, off the airwaves, saying that these girls play themselves. They ply their trade in the United States. United States basketball players ply their trade in the United States. And so there has to be, as a meeting point, they've played each other. So they are playing at the same stage. So what the difference here is, you're just representing your country. So what's the difference? What went wrong? What could have been the issue? Yes, the victory was quite slim, but there was a lot of hopes. There was a lot of aspiration. But then we give them kudos. I wonder what you think about that, Chimubi.
Yeah, the Tigers, they are wonderful. They are my heroines in these Olympics. They give me joy, like watching them play, and they give this Niger spirit, this Niger vibes. Like since the Olympics started, I've been following them, I've been seeing their content, and I watch their matches, and they are just wonderful. But on the flip side, our national teams speak volumes of how well or how well run our sports sector is in Nigeria. Because you look at our teams and you see that everybody is from the abroad. Everybody is foreign. You can't see like players that came from our system here. And it's a cause for alarm. Why?
Basketball league, just like in the MPFL, do we have a basketball? The only team I hear a lot about is the Rivers Hoopers, who go out to apply, do continental, representation and all that. But then how many teams are there, especially female basketball teams, are playing the league?
Yeah. Yeah, you see, that's the point. That's the point we try to make. If you look at all the athletes representing us at the Olympics, and you come back home here and look at our sports sector, it's just alarming. Alarming is the right word, because there are no structures on ground. The only sport that has a viable national league, which is not even up to the standard it should be, is football, where we have the NPFL. Other sports are highly overlooked. You talk of cricket, you talk of basketball, you talk of rugby, you talk of so many sports that are being played at the Olympics. And you see that the only place where Nigeria is kind of regarded is in the area of probably the weightlifting and just a few track events. And it's not as if we even win, or who maybe manage to get to the final and come 8th or 7th in one or two of them. So it's a reflection of the deficiency we have in the sports sector here. So
let me hold you in your tracks again, Chimubi. Now let me bring that budget. 9 billion, 12 billion.
Yeah.
12 billion on paper, about 2.5 billion, which is on paper. And then we are hearing 12 billion approved for the Olympics, and, clarification from Minister of Sports, Eno, saying it was 9 billion, while over 3 billion was earmarked for Paralympics prior to the games. And so all of these amount of money, you're hearing about 100 million from, the House of Representatives and all that kind of stuff coming into the sports sector. And we're talking about deficiency. We're talking about, training issues. We're talking about absence of training facilities and, all of the requirements that these athletes need. So if this money were diverted to the development of the sports sector, we probably would train better. I don't know. I mean,
That's my point. Yeah.
Competent minds or competent hands to compete for us in this sort of competitions. I mean, when we go out there, we always depend on will I say foreign-based players, or we look at players that are playing for the big leagues or in Europe, and that does not help our cause here, because when you have players that are playing the MPFL and they cannot show the world what they can do in competing maybe in the will I say AFCON to even start with. So I think we should just like he said, we should go ahead and make provisions. When you have 100 million naira that is graciously given, quote unquote, to this. I mean, it's a lot of money. Why are we not getting return on investment? Just like the guest said, why are we not getting return on investment? Just a single medal. We have not been able to get a single medal, not even bronze.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, because when you look at the caliber of countries that, or let's say other countries that have been able to register 1 gold or 2 golds, or just like that, and we are better off. I mean, Fiji. What is Botswana? What is the geographical
that of Botswana has given a public holiday.
Did you understand? And we cannot get that form of joy, that form of we did that.
Yeah.
Our name is going to be forever etched in the sand of time that we did that. It's really heartbreaking, and I can hear and understand the cries of every Nigerian that what's going on. This amount of money is allocated to, and there's nothing to show for it. So I just feel like the federation should really come together, work hand in hand to make sure that homegrown talents are try to be brought into the fold and make something out of them.
Well, we'll just have Chimobi stand by. Let me let you know that American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone smashed her world record as she stormed to a sensational Olympic 400 meters hurdles gold in Paris. Now, the anticipated title showdown with Dutch star Femke Bol never materialized because McLaughlin she was as swift as the wind, 50.37 seconds. Bol, who is actually the second fastest runner in the women's category of all time in the event, faded to finish third in 52.15 seconds behind U.S. silver medalist Anna Cockrell, who ran a personal best of 51.87. So McLaughlin-Levrone improved her world record to 50.65 in June, but she saved her best for the sport's biggest stage to claim her 6th global title. And I'm saying congratulations to her. I mean, you can't also fail to congratulate Botswana's Leslie Tebogo, who claimed a surprise Olympic 200 meters gold medal in the 200 meters. 200 meters, yeah. 21 years, stormed clear of his rival Noah Lyles to clock in on an African record of 19.46 seconds and finished ahead of American Kenneth Bednarek, who crossed the line in 19.62. Lyles crowned the world's fastest man by 5,000ths of a second. We talked about it on Wednesday. He was the first to cross the finish line, according to reviews by videos, the 100 meters final. Came down with COVID and finished third. And he's saying at the end, the bronze medal means a lot for him, because what he was trying to do was win like doubles, which was the last time that happened was Usain Bolt. Yeah, Usain Bolt was able to win the 100 meters and the 200 meters. Lyles was trying to achieve that feat, but was unable to do that, and we're hoping that he gets back on his feet, because he was pulled out via a wheelchair, and he had a great time on the tracks, no doubt. So congratulations to them. But Botswana has a public holiday, a press release by government saying, let's party, just like it's Friday. Yeah, what a way.
Do it ahead of, giants of Africa, man.
Yeah.
They really deserve a holiday. You should celebrate it. This sort of thing doesn't come
all the time.
They've been able to put their name there and say we did that. Congratulations to him. If he wants to go on a shopping spree,
he should. They should. And I think that's the same thing happening in Pakistan at the moment. Arshad Nadeem made history by winning Pakistan's very first Olympic gold in athletics, throwing a games record of 92.97 meters in the men's javelin. Yes, what a feat by him. USA's Grant Holloway beat compatriot Daniel Roberts to take the men's 110 meters hurdles title and upgrade the silver from Tokyo, while another American, Tara Davis Woodwall, won the women's long jump. And now to the biggest sporting event, which is football. We saw Morocco win. Ouch! It was massive. 6 goals to 0. They won bronze in Olympic men's football, a thumping victory over Egypt in Nantes. But the beautiful thing is 2 African countries getting to that stage. You know, third leg, yeah. And it was massive. You know, we saw Tariq Sekou's men responding brilliant to their 2-1 semi-final loss to Spain, who, of course, will be playing in the finals. And, of course, recording their biggest win to claim an Olympic medal in football for the first time. Beautiful goals, you know, coming in from the players. A superlative performance they put up to get that resounding victory, 6-0. And then the finals will be played tomorrow. How do you see the finals going?
Well, we all know the team that is hungrier. Well, France is not
the host.
The host is not a team that we should overlook. They have they have a mixture of, because I always say it all the time. When I say it, they have a mixture of experience and young stars. And when you mix the two, you get the perfect blend. You get the result. I mean, we can talk about the most successful teams in Europe and see the way they were able to infuse young talent and experience. And once you are able to get the right balance between those two, you'll be able to achieve everything. Because once the young one wants to fly, there's always someone who's going to say, just
calm down,
take it easy. And that is just the perfect balance in football.
If we do have Chimobi standing by, I'd love to find out what his thoughts are as regards the game between France and Spain tomorrow, the finals, and of course Morocco beating Egypt by 6 goals to 0. Chimobi, what do you think about that?
The Morocco versus Egypt game, I think, is a case of Egypt players losing morale, you know, after losing in the semi-finals. So it happens at times. So it's up to the coach and the coaching crew members to kind of ginger the players and reboost their morale. Because I know on paper, Morocco is better, but it's not to the extent of walloping them by 6 goals to 0. It's quite disappointing. I hope they can pick themselves up and prepare better for the next Olympics. Then for the final, it is a must-watch game. There are so many exciting stars that are going to be on show. For France, we have the likes of Michael Olise. Olise has been exciting for France. He has been pulling the strings alongside Ryan Cherki in midfield. You know, then up front, they have Lacazette and they have Mateta. A very nice blend of experience and youth. Then Spain, on the other hand, they have very, very nice players. One person that has stood out is Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez has been so exceptional for Spain. Then when you look all around the team, you will see young and experienced guys. I think the oldest guy in that Spain squad is 24. But he still has a lot of experience under his belt. We have the likes of Alex Baena, we have Sergio Gomez, Fermin Lopez, and a whole lot of young players, mostly from La Masia, that's Barcelona's academy. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. And I hope it will have a lot of goals. I hope they don't sit back and defend. I hope they come out and play and give us a final befitting of an Olympic gold medal.
Well, Chimobi, just to break your heart, Toby Amuson has fallen shy of qualification for the 100 meters hurdles final, coming in 12.55 seconds, right? And just third in that line. The first position went to United States, and that's Stark of the United States and Charlton of Bahamas. So G Stark of United States came in 12.39 seconds, and D Charlton 12.50, and Toby Amuson 12.55 seconds. Sad one there. It feels very terrible, you know, having to be the one to break this news to you. It's obvious. It's showing on your face.
Well, you lose some. You lose some, you win some. So we have to pick ourselves up. She has to pick herself up and start preparing for the next opportunity.
Well said there. You couldn't have said it any better, but I'd like to find out what Charles also has to say about that.
She has given her best.
Yeah.
And we know what her best is. I mean, breaking 2 world records in one night previously before this Olympic. I feel like she has everything. She has done everything right to make sure that she is undisputed when it comes to the hurdles. But coming against the likes of the US, you know what their firepower, you know what they can stack and what they can pack. So, well, kudos to her. This is not the end of the road, just like he said. She can pick herself up and prepare for the next Olympic if if God keeping us alive, and if she will be fit for it as well. So kudos to her. Really, I can't take anything from her performance. So I can't say it is a reason for her to put her head down. She has to chin up and get ready for the next outing.
Well, we'll continue to monitor development. Of course, the Paris Olympic is wrapping up really fine, and it's been a momentous experience getting to follow and bring Paris to you with love. Now we'll move on to transfers. Chelsea has completed the signing of Boca Juniors defender Aaron Anselmino, and it's a 15.6 million pounds deal. 19 years of age, signed a 7-year contract at Stamford Bridge, but remain on loan at Argentine club for the 2024-2025 season as part of the agreement. You know, he made his debut for Boca in June 2023 and has made as much as 10 appearances in total. He signed a contract extension in January 2024 that tied him to the club till about 2028. So far, you know, let's take a look at what Chelsea has spent. 115 million pounds on midfielders: Kernan, Desbury Hall, Renato Vega, Omari, Kellyman, goalkeeper. Now, there's a video I saw online that says Chelsea has as much as 8 goalkeepers now.
Very true.
Chimubi, what do you think about that? Is Chelsea lacking in the goalkeeping department that they should be packing as much as 8 goalkeepers?
Well, I think the issue there is not the number of goalkeepers, but it's having the right person, the right goalkeeper. I remember when Chelsea signed Mendy. Mendy became the number 1 goalkeeper. He immediately pushed Kepa out of the picture and became the number 1 goalkeeper. So it's not about signing 8 or 9 goalkeepers. It's about having that one person amongst them that will stand out and become the undisputed number 1, or even 2 persons. There are clubs that have 2 goalkeepers, like Brighton. Brighton have Verbogen and Steele. So they alternate them. This one will play Premier League, the other one will play FA Cup. So it's about having the right person or the right 2 persons that will step up and take up that responsibility of being the number 1 goalkeeper or the number 1 and number 2 goalkeeper for Chelsea.
Well, Charles, let me put you on the spot here. 8 goalkeepers. He's saying it's good, you could probably have 2, but then Chelsea has 8. So are you going to be sending these to the academies, to your second team? Are you going to be loaning them out? Are you going to be keeping all of them? Because you have a problem of, issue of financial FIFA fair play, hovering around the English Premier League is very serious. And so you're spending a lot of money, especially where you don't need it. Yeah. Is the Chelsea team compact enough to prosecute the league in your favor, in your opinion? Because we've seen their preseason failing to, put up a worthy display.
They lost 3, 1-1 and drew. Okay, they lost 2, 1-1 and drew 1.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad when you look at it, but having that amount of players in your squad or under your control, I don't want to be in Enzo's shoes anytime, because you have 41 players eligible to play in the Premier League, and that is a lot of people to manage, if you ask me, because which one are you going to send out? Which one are you going to keep? They make a lot of signings, especially in the goalkeeping department, and they allow those players to remain at their club until, I think there was one I saw on social media for 12.5 or so thereabout, but he was asked to stay in his parent club. Why do you sign all these players? Why do you choose to recruit a lot of players, giving the coach headache? Because that's for me. That's the head. That is the biggest headache.
Headache or options?
The options, because you're not able to, will I say, assess these players. Because once you are chopping and changing things, you'll not be able to get your starting 11. And once you have that problem, it persists to the end of the season. Because once you have identified, okay, this person is going to start, then he picks up an injury. Don't get me wrong, it's also good for the motivation of the player. I would say nobody has a guaranteed start, so anybody that gets an opportunity will want to put in performances for the manager. But then it gives the keeper, the manager, headache. So having 8 keepers in your side, I don't know how he's going to manage it, but that's a lot.
But Chelsea needs a striker. It's
they do.
Undoubtedly one of the facts that stares the fans and management in the face. The Blues are actually in the market for a striker and are keen on Atletico Madrid forward Samu Maridjan. When we talked about it on Wednesday, that deal hadn't pulled through, and we're looking forward to pen going on paper. We're not certain of whatever the outcome might be just yet. But Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo is set to have a medical with West Ham United today as they aim to beat Juve to the Frenchman's signature. The Hammers agreed an initial season-long loan deal for Todibo, and that includes a 40 million euros, which is about 34.22 million pounds option to buy in 2025. Juve had been in front, they were front runners to sign the 24-year-old. It's not Juve, it's not a Juve. I saw the way you looked at me there. But then a move to London is not yet certain. It will be a very significant coup for the Hammers to edge Juventus to the signing, given the Italian club can offer Champions League football. One man who I am very sad about is David De Gea, who has just been up for a while and then he's going down the rung of the ladder every second. He used to be a very celebrated goalkeeper. He spent last season on the sidelines after his contract at United ended. And over the past few months, David De Gea was released. He has released training footage, yes, and that's including some taken at National League club Outreachman. That's close to his home in northwest England. His most recent post on the 25th of June included the words "ready to rock." But then we hear there's a move to MLS side, there's a move to Saudi Arabia. What's the best for the man at the moment, Chimobi?
I think a move to the MLS or Saudi would do him a lot of good because at his age and at his level, many people see him as a kind of legend for United because he served them so well. He kept a lot of clean sheets, made a lot of saves. It's sad that his journey with Man United had to end the way it ended. But then it's good that he's training, sharing footages of him training and all that. It shows that he has this resolve to try to bounce back. So even if the clubs in Europe don't want him, I believe going to the MLS, because these clubs over there, they don't just look at the professional or the playing side of it. They also look at the commercial side of it in shirt sales and all that. So a move to the MLS or even to Saudi would do him a whole lot of good.
Thank you so much for finding time to join us on the program today, Chimobi. It's been a pleasure having you virtually. Standing by, very patient and contributing on the show today. I'm hoping that when we call on you again, you would play your part while we play ours here.
Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend, man. Okay, so Charlie, you heard him. MLS, Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think the latest on De Gea would be a transfer to Fiorentina. Because I feel that pays him because he still gets to showcase his talents here in Europe. Where the eyes of the media will come and where the eyes of the fans can see him. Because I feel like he needs a resurrection. He needs something to bring him out from the ditch where he's lying. And there's no disputing the fact that De Gea is a good goalkeeper. Maybe he's prone to errors, makes mistakes that you would say a number one shouldn't. But we've seen his track record. He's the last of Sir Alex Ferguson's signing that actually knows what it felt like to win the Premier League. And he has experience, he has a lot of qualities, and there's a lot of he can offer to whether MLS or Saudi Arabia or wherever he ends up. So I wish him all the best. He has not allowed the situation with Manchester United bury him, so he's still fighting and he's still raising his head above water. So I feel like wherever he ends up is a good deal for him.
All right, rumors making the rounds. Liverpool are interested and still remain interested in Anthony Gordon. On our Emery, we hear once Joao Felix at Aston Villa and Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain have their eyes set on Josh Achia Bong. Ghanaian name. Anyway, so we hear they're maintaining strong interest in Newcastle for Anthony Gordon. That's talking about Liverpool. And a deal to buy the 23-year-old didn't go through in June. And we hear Gordon's price will likely be elevated. Unai Emery wants to sign Portugal forward Joao Felix, who is also keen to leave Atletico Madrid. And do you think Aston Villa is the great destination for him?
Well, since he has had different spells in Premier League, okay, let me not say different, but a spell with Chelsea in the Premier League, I feel he has, to an extent, gotten accustomed to what the Premier League has to offer, or the football, the fanatic football that the Premier League has to offer, or what the Premier League is all about. So he has been, well, I say he has experience in the Premier League. So yeah, it won't be out of the books for Aston Villa to really go for him. He has shown that he can play in the Premier League. And yeah, he's an experienced player who has age on his side, 24 years. He has a lot of prospects to give, a lot of energy to still run down the bar line for them.
All right, Birmingham City have agreed a deal with Rennes over a potential transfer of Wales midfielder Jordan James, who is 20. And we hear Marcel retains an interest in 25-year-old English and Arsenal striker Eddie Keita. A loss to Arsenal?
I mean, Nketiah is a young player. We have seen his track record in Arsenal. Although he's more or less like an academy player, you don't want to let go. Yeah. But given the new rules, and so they've lost Emil, even in my own books, I felt like was not supposed to be. But Nketiah is more or less like that out-and-out striker, but he's failing in height because he doesn't score a lot of goals with his head. So I guess that's why Arsenal is trying to get rid of him. But
good deal or bad deal?
Good deal.
Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, Bournemouth are in advanced talks with Barcelona to sign Mexico defender Julian Araujo in a €10 million deal. I don't know if that pulls up, but then when Fabrizio says stuff, it's most likely pen is on paper or almost on paper. So French defender Billy Kinimeto, who's 21, is on the verge of a move from Liverpool to Dundee. Feels like you're going back. Irish club, yeah? Well, Fulham have stepped up their interest in Aston Villa defender Diego Carlos. The 31-year-old Brazilian is expected to leave before the transfer window shuts, and Villa are open to offers. Just before we wrap things up, South African public broadcaster SABC, which is South African Broadcasting Corporation, has requested proposals for a partner to help it launch its own satellite television broadcasting service, and they want to challenge OpenView, which is the main free-to-air satellite operator in the market. We're seeing different business interests coming up, here and there, and so many people want a piece of the cake, a slice of the pie, a chunk of the meat, however you want to describe it, a fraction of the business. And here on Sports Business, the Premier League has a new home in Mexico and Central America after its previous broadcast partner, which is Paramount Global, handed back rights ahead of the 2024-2025 season. So it's more like an open check. There's a lot that can be tapped from that market. We're looking forward to, what we make out of that. AS Monaco has joined the small group of elite clubs to go aside. Pathways. I'm looking for the other words to try to describe what has gone wrong. So shared sponsors right between domestic and European competition. They announced a new top-tier deal with Renault. Is that a good one? So they don't want any other small boys. It's like every other person is a...
No, I think the way I understand it, or the way I perceived it when I read the article really was they have a different shared sponsor for their local leagues. Okay. And when they play in the UEFA, Europe, or maybe they are playing continental tournaments.
So they want a bigger brand.
Different, yes, shared sponsor.
Or they want one brand to do all of it.
I think it's two brands, one for local league and one for... I think something like that was experimented in La Liga, the second tier.
It's just a way for the teams to make more money.
Make more money. That's the business part of it that we keep talking about. That why can't we replicate? We have
That's
seen these blueprints, and we cannot replicate them down here. I mean, if people can, lobby to sponsor the NPFL and just call it maybe Souk NPFL.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money because your name is out there. When they want to talk about the league in Nigeria, your name.
Just like Emirates decided to continue, extend their deal and have Emirates FA Cup continue. Crazy times anyway. Well, sadly, it's the long-serving former president of the Confederation of African Football, this person I'm talking about, Issa Hayatou. He died at the age of 77. The news broke out yesterday. And of course, the Cameroonian, who spent 29 years as the head of the continental governing body, assumed the presidency in 1988. Were you born then? Well, he left office in 2017. You can imagine how long he spent. He also held high positions within the world governing body, which is the Federation International Football Association, FIFA. And Hayatou was a member of the Switzerland-based organization's executive committee, now known as the FIFA Council. And that was between 1990 to 2017. He had a brief spell as acting president of FIFA. That was between 2015 and 2016, when his compadre, Sepp Blatter, was suspended. The FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, paid tribute to Hayatou, who during his youth was a track athlete and a basketball player. You see him towering in height, the testament to what he achieved as a player. And of course, right here on Souk Sports, we train our hearts out to the Cameroon Football Federation, to Cameroonians, to the Confederation of African Football, and of course to all sports lovers, despite the fact his lifetime was embroidered with some sort of skirmishes. But then Issa Hayatou went to the Court of Arbitration of Sports and cleared his name, which is the highest football court in the world. So rest in peace. Our heart goes out to all sports lovers all over the world. And right here, we commiserate with the Cameroonian Football Association and Cameroonians on the death of one person who you call a legend. Charlie, any last words on the program today?
It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Even though we hate to say goodbye, we'll see you on Monday with another edition of Souk Sports. I still remain Charlie Montero, and with me is numero uno.
Oh, you can say that. All right, it's been great being here, like I always say. And of course, many thanks to Chimobi, who joined us virtually. I don't know what part of the world he's in at the moment, but I know he's always on the move. And that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to get it going when I get to move my body like Jagger. It's Friday feeling, and thank you so much, for being a part of it. So follow us on social media, engage, like, comment. Would want to read from you. And thanks to all those who are behind the scenes ensuring that, you can receive us crisp, loud, and clear. So this is me signing out until I come your way. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. More fire.